I think we're at the point now where we would like some score and some lives, though. And I'd like to put in the winning condition eventually as well. For all of these things, I'm going to need some sort of global variables to keep track of my score. So an int, which keeps track of how many points I've gotten. I'll make the bricks worth different amounts. My number of lives. And I should probably have some way of keeping track of whether or not I've won. So I'm going to keep track of how many bricks there are at the start of the game. And once I reach 0 bricks, that's how I'm going to end the game. So in here, let's set score equal to 0 and lives equal to 3 so we can end the game properly if we need to. Probably the thing to do to start with is actually to deal with drawing things on the screen. So right after the draw objects here, I need to be able to draw my score and my lives. This is very similar to what I did in the catch game. So I'm going to do stroke, 0, fill, 0 to make sure that the text is black on top of my white. Score is going to be whatever my score is. And I'm going to put in a space, and lives, and lives. And from the last game, I think 16-15 was pretty decent. There we go. So there it's showing up top. All right. Now, when should I lose a life? So my thought is that when the ball goes off the bottom down here, what I'll do is I'll jump the ball back to its center position and then subtract 1 from my lives. And probably at that point is where, if I reach 0 lives, I'm going to want to check and see if anybody wants to restart the game or not. That actually can probably go right here, right after I draw the objects. So if the ball's Y position is greater than the game height, so if it's past that 400, then I'm going to reset the ball back to its starting position. I believe it was 300, 200? Yes, 300, 200. Technically 300 minus 8. And then the Y position is going to be 200 minus 8. We should probably stop it moving so it isn't constantly moving off the screen. And then we should subtract 1 from the lives. And finally, we should check to see if the game is over. So if we get less than or equal to 0, technically I could just check equal to, but just in case, I don't know, maybe sometime I may want like multiple balls moving around and they all move off the screen at the same time. Then I'll use my pre-built draw question and ask if they want to restart the game. So let's see if it goes off. Okay, restarted. It's 2, 1, 0. Good. I don't have the question code in yet. Let's deal with that next. Mouse pressed. So let's check to see what the answer was that they have. So just a reminder, it's either no answer, or yes, or it's no. If it's yes, we're going to restart the game. If it's not, then we need to end the game. I'll do that really quick print line just so it shows up in the console. And then end the game. Restart, and it looks like it's still going. Good. Lives got reset. All right, next we need to check to see how many points we get for these things. So I'm going to make it so that brick 1 is just worth 1 point, and brick 2 is worth 2 points. And I'll be able to tell that right when I destroy it, back down here next to the bouncing commands. So once I know that I have a brick here, I should find out how much I need to add to the score based on the ID tag I gave it. It's almost like I knew that was coming. So if the collided index dot ID tag is, let's see, I think it was brick 1. Then I need to set my score to 1. Well, add 1 to my score. If the collided index .id tag was brick 2, there we go. I need to add 2 to my score. So my score is 2, score is 4. Let's try and hit a blue one. There we go. That seems to work all right. My goodness, we're almost there. So how do I check to see if I win? Well, I need to keep track of how many bricks there are overall. So back up at the top, when I actually create all my bricks, let's add 1 to my overall brick count for every brick that I put into the game. Here I'm adding to the bricks, so it makes sense that I would add 1 to brick count here. And to here. So that variable should keep track of how many bricks there are total in the whole game. And if I go back down to where the bouncing was, right after I destroy it, I should subtract 1 from the brick count, and then check to see if I've reached 0 bricks. So if I have 0 bricks, that's the end of the game in the positive direction. Let's draw a question. You win. Play again. I could make 2 separate questions the same way I did in Catch, but I think these are going to be the same idea in both of them, so I'm just going to do it this way. And I really don't want to go through all of those to see if I win. Let's cheat a little bit. So what happens if I just add 1 of these? I'll put that 600 back in a second. Can I get it to go over there? All right, I won. Good job, me. So now, 600 minus that. 600 minus that. I think we have a working game. So obviously, you might want to change the way the levels are set up. I was very cursory in my level design. You could add as many bricks as you wanted in whatever variety of patterns you wanted. You certainly don't need to make lines of them. You could change the number of levels you have. There's a variety of things you could do to make this game much cooler. Hopefully that gives you a sense of how to make Breakout.